So I'm going to talk about traffic. That is a small tool that for me is quite useful. And I hope that maybe it will be useful for you too. This is me, Jesús Sánchez, in almost every social network. I worked as a backend developer at Kokomor. Now with Drupal, I used to work with PHP. And I'm not a sysadmin at all, okay? So this is a Docker session. But don't expect some deep stuff. It's just something useful and something that should be fast. I'm lazy, and I'm not a sysadmin, so it works for me. Maybe it works for you. I guess that everyone faced this moment, okay, that someone says, hey, Docker is cool. Let's use it. Let's try it. Let's use all of us the same environment, so we have the same result as production, etc., etc. Then I started with a really small Docker Compose file that it will just download an image of a Docker container that will use Apache, okay? And it will use the port 80. So you say, well, cool, let's see how it works. But it doesn't. Why? Because it says, hey, that port is already in use. Okay, so, well, okay, what can I do? Let's shut down Apache, and then let's start the container, and okay, it works. It's fair, sounds fair. Right? Then you say, well, I have another project. Let's try another project. I have my container already working. Let's start the other one. But it doesn't work. Why? Because, again, it's used by the other container. So what can I do? Well, let's use another port. I will bind the container 80 port to the 81 of my machine, and then everything works. I don't know if you see it, but localhost 81, it works, okay? I'm happy. But then I have 10, 20, 35 projects, and then I lost the count of the ports, or maybe I started a project, but a colleague started another project, and our projects are not the same. I have 10 ports in use, and he has another one, and the configuration doesn't fit, and I cannot possibly think of every port and every configuration that they have. So maybe they should exist something that automatically manages this for me. Okay, and then I get to know traffic. I think that it was in Twitter, but I don't remember exactly. When I saw this, actually, I sent it to Marcelo, that is entering right now, and he said, hey, I'm facing the very same problem, and it fits perfectly for my needs. So what it does? Well, I don't understand any of this, because I'm not a sysadmin. It's a reverse proxy and a load balancer, and it works with a lot of stuff, including Docker. And the key part is that dynamically manage the configuration. So I don't have to care. And that's good, because I'm lazy. So, well, a cool image that you can find in the website of Traffic. What's the use that I have for this? Well, I use in the Docker Compose file, I use the labels, and I add some tags from Traffic, and I assign a name. I assign some information, and then I forget about containers and ports and everything. I use that name that I'm assigning to it. And of course, I'm not a sysadmin. I use it for local development, me and some of my colleagues, okay? So I'm not saying, hey, use this for production, for some stuff. No, I cannot say that to you. So it comes with a cool UI that you cannot see, I guess, that it says what containers it's detecting and the name that it's assigning, and also the local IPs that it's assigning to them. So you could also use the IP to access. And it works. It just works. I don't know if you can see it, but it says apache.docker.localhost and apache2.docker.localhost. It works. Cool, right? So how? Well, you launch Traffic. You can download the binary and then add some configuration file that is not complex. Or you can just download the Docker image and launch it, and it will more or less talk with your containers. Then you add the labels that they said, and well, mostly, that's all. Not exactly, but mostly. So as you can see here, you have the labels and some information. And this one says the name, okay? It's just some text. I will, of course, upload the slide, but it's quite simple. And you also say the port, because if your container exposes maybe 3 ports, it doesn't know which one has to bind. So you say, hey, please, the 80 from the container. And then if you are using traffic inside a container too, you need to make them work together. So they have to be in the same network. Okay, so in this case, I'm launching my project with the external network that traffic creates, whatever works for you. So, hey, this really worked great, let's use it. Well, it's not so, I mean, it's not perfect, nothing is a silver bullet, right? So it has a couple of things. I mean, you still have to stop your local Apache, because it needs the port 80, of course. Maybe you can configure it for not using it, but for me, you need to. But, well, when I start to use Docker, I want every project to be inside that structure. I don't want to use my local Apache and a local MySQL for some projects and then some other containers. I prefer to have everything in containers. And then for me, it looks like it's better to use the binary. Why? Because maybe Pedro knows better, but as far as I know, when you start a Docker compose file and it starts like 4 different containers, you can access one container to the other with the name of the service. So you say, well, I have a container for Apache and I have another one for the database. And the second one is called DB server. So from Drupal, my configuration for the database is DB server. But if everything is in the same network, I think that those names can collide. I think that happened to me once. Not sure, but with the binary, I didn't have the problem. I could start several projects at the same time without any pain. So, and then after all of this, this was all about traffic. Okay, traffic. Sorry. But then at Dev Days, well, I had another thing that I wanted to fix, and Pedro, hi, gave me the solution for that at Drupal Developer Days in Seville. As I said, I'm lazy. So I don't want to edit every time the file, the host file, to add every single project in local, right? And at first, when I created the names ending in localhost, Chrome directly detects them. So I don't need to add anything to the host file. It knows that it's the localhost, but not for Firefox. And even not for the console, for the CLI. So thanks to Pedro, he told me that there is something that is called DNS mask, where you can add a rule and you can say, hey, everything that ends in .docker.localhost or whatever you want, please know that it's localhost, is that. And then I added the file to the network manager configuration, I restarted, and everything worked fine. Okay, so with Dig, you see that you get the answer. And that's all. Maybe I was too fast, but
any question for Jesus?
Did you have a look at Nginx proxy? That is
I don't remember
for the same purpose?
I thought that it was Nginx or HA proxy, that there are also prepared for that, but they don't. At least my DevOps colleague told me that it doesn't come with an UI, and and that it didn't start automatically.
Oh yeah,
you have to restart
another
it.
Container.
You have to restart it and to get it know the containers that you are starting after.
Well,
I don't know.
I'm
I'm not
studying the
exactly sure.
solutions. Yeah, I'm in the same problem.
Yeah,
as
it's
you are.
mostly the same, and I'm sure that we all face it something
Thank you.
similar, right? Thank you.
Any other one?
Pedro, behind you.
Not really a question, but a bonus tip. You can bind traffic to 127.0.0.2,
And it works on the song.
and you don't have to stop your local Apache.
Okay. Thank you. As I said, I'm not a sysadmin. You need one for this kind of thing.
Okay. Any other question?
No? Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.